Hi guys, it's Mrs. Wostratsky. I hope you guys are doing well and having a great Thursday. Please be extra nice to your sub today. I thought I'd go through a couple of these examples here so you can kind of see how to go through these. This is Learning Target 1, the second day of it, so hopefully going through the homework and everything helped learn some of those. But let's go through a few of these. So if I'm asking you to do g of 3x plus 2. So if you think back, let me actually do another example up here. In our last unit, if I had you do, say, g of 3, what we were doing was we were taking 3 and putting that in wherever there was an x. So instead of an x in the function g, we put a 3 there. So then you evaluated it, you got 12 minus 3, or 9, and g of 3 was equal to 9. So we've done that already. Now if I'm doing g of 3x plus 2, what we're doing is we are plugging 3x plus 2 in wherever there is an x. So if I'm doing g of 3x plus 2, instead of the x, I'm going to rewrite the whole function g. Instead of the x, I'm going to replace that with the 3x plus 2. So just like up here when it was g of 3, I put a 3 wherever there was an x. Down here, I'm putting the 3x plus 2 in wherever there's an x. And then we just have to go through and simplify it. Now we're not going to get just an actual numerical answer on this one. We're going to get an expression from it, and that's okay. So we distribute and get 12x plus the 8 minus the 3, and then simplify, combine like terms, we get 12x plus 5. And this is g of 3x plus 2. Let's try another one. So if I'm doing f of 3x, so this time the f here tells us that we're going to use function f up here. So I'm going to rewrite it, and instead of the x, I'm just going to kind of put a space here just to start off with. So if it were a number, we would be plugging in that number wherever there's an x. But it's not a number, I'm plugging in 3x. So I'm going to take the 3x and put that wherever there was supposed to be an x here. So now we have to go through and simplify it. But be careful, make sure that you are doing it as order of operations. So that means instead of doing 2 times 3x, I have to do 3x squared first. And when we square 3x, we have to make sure we square both things in there. So I'm just going to rewrite it here first. And now when we go through this, we can start multiplying. 2 times the 9x squared gives us 18x squared. Here we have a plus 9x and a plus 4. We look to see if there's any like terms we can combine. There's not. So that's our answer. Try one of these on your own. Go ahead and pause the video for just a minute. Try it on your own. Try number 3. Pause it, and I'll come back to you too and show you how to do that one. So hopefully you tried that one on your own. This one you have to be really careful with the order of operations on here. So this time we're using function p, which was the x squared minus 2x. So instead of an x, I'm replacing that with that x minus 3. So x minus 3 squared minus the 2 times x minus 3. Now, hopefully we remember from our first unit, when we're squaring x minus 3, that's not x squared plus 9. X minus 3 squared is x minus 3 times x minus 3. We actually have to go through and double distribute everything. So that gives us x squared minus 3x minus 3x plus 9 if I go through and double distribute there. I'm going to combine those like terms right away. We get x squared minus 6x plus 9 here. Now on the next one we have to go through and just distribute here, but be really careful. You want to make sure you're distributing a negative 2. So that gives us a minus 2x and a plus 6. I'm just going to carry that down here. So now at the end we just want to combine our like terms together. We have an x squared. Right here a negative 6 and a negative 2 can combine together to give us the negative 8x. And then the 9 and the 6 together give us the plus 15. So hopefully that you got that answer on there. Let's try one like number 4. Now if you remember from our test, there was actually the extra credit was kind of similar to this. The extra credit was a little bit more complicated. But this one, now you're doing g of h of x. What this is actually called is a composition of functions. But what it's actually doing here is you're taking function h and you're plugging it into function g. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll write it like this. I'll replace the h of x with whatever h of x is. So we're going to do g of the function h of x, and h of x is 5x plus 1. So that just again comes from our example up here. That's what h of x is right here. So we're doing g of 5x plus 1, and then really it's the same thing as what we had done before. So we're going to take function g, which is 4x minus 3. Again, that's just coming from up here, the 4x minus 3. And now instead of an x, we're replacing that with function h, which h was 5x plus 1. Then it's really the same as the other three we just went through. It's a matter of going through and simplifying it. We get 20x plus 4. We still have a minus 3. And that gives us 20x plus 1. I'm going to take a look at number 5 then. So number 5, we'll do another example, and then I'll have you try the last one on your own if you haven't already. Or you could pause this video and try this one as well. So this one's h of g of x. So notice it's almost the same as number 4. It does make a difference, the order in it. Notice number 4 was g of h of x. This one now is h of g of x. That just switched. So we're starting with function h, and we're going to plug function g into that. So function g is the 4x minus 3, and this time we're plugging that in to function h. So function h was 5x plus 1, but again, instead of an x, I'm putting in function g, which was 4x minus 3. So now again, we just go through and distribute and simplify. We get 20x minus the 15 plus 1, or 20x minus 14. Again, pause this video to try number 6. Try it on your own. Be really careful with the squaring of the binomial here. And notice you're taking function g and you're plugging it into function p. So take a second and pause it and try it on your own. All right, if you're back, I'm going to show you the number 6 here, p of g of x. So p of g of x is the 4x minus 3. So I'm going to, again, start with function p, which was x squared minus 2x. Again, I'm just getting that right from the top of the paper here, if it lets me show you here. Right from the top of the paper, that's function p, x squared minus 2x. And instead of x, though, this time, again, I'm plugging in function g, which was 4x minus 3. Be really careful with the simplifying on this one. Like we said in the other one, when you're squaring the 4x minus 3, that's 4x minus 3 times 4x minus 3. And so we double distribute here, and we get 16x squared minus 12x minus 12x plus 9. You can combine like terms together right away if you want to, or you can just start distributing. That's fine as well. Here we get a negative 8x and a plus 6. Combine all your like terms together. There's only one x squared term, so 16x squared. Negative 12 and negative 12 give us the negative 24. Minus the 8, we get a negative 32x. And then plus 9 and the plus 6 gives us a plus 15. So take a look at your answer, see if you got the same thing. Hopefully you did. Hopefully this video kind of helped you figure some of these out. So take a few minutes now, try the problems on your homework. You can work together, you can help each other out. I'll give the sub my answer key so they can kind of come around and check it if you have questions on it. Or again, if you need to watch the video again, you can do that as well. When I come back on Monday, I'll help you with that as well, okay? Have a great day, and again, try the homework and see how you do. Bye.